Yes, now people, there's ROCKSTEADY. The beast from the east is signing in. The Bear Grylls of YouTube, yeah? Abraham Lincoln of this internet game is signing in, yeah? Dystopia is who we listen to. 12 tracks on this record. The debut record by Dystopia, may I add, Human Equals Garbage. Supposedly released in 1994. Tank Crimes are getting the credit on these videos. Whether they were the original label who put this record out or not, I have no idea. You're going to have to bring me in and fill me in on that. Although I did, in between the listening of this, check out the Tank Crimes social medias. And they've got involvement with some great bands. Some really good bands. I don't know whether they've released records from them, but they're certainly doing stickers in merchand. You know what I mean? When they're shipping out merchandise. Who have we got? Despise You, Spaz, that one death metal band, relatively modern, I think. That's lost on me right about now. But yeah, put some props out, give some respect there to Tank Crimes. Now, this was an interesting record. It was incredibly unique. We had 12 tracks on here. I don't know as to what length it span. If I'm to take an estimate, I'd say it's probably about 45-minute long. If that, 45-minute long. A bit longer than a 30-minute record, I'll say that. A lot of unique influence and a great wealth of influence from different genres existing within the extreme metal and punk realms. And that's brilliant because normally you'll have, oh, we're an extreme metal or we're an extreme punk rock band, but we are so unique and different because we take our influence from jazz, or we take our influence from orchestral bits, or we take our quirky niche sound from soul music, and we utilize that and weaponize that within our extreme music. Dystopia don't look outside of the extreme sphere, and that's really fantastic. It means you've got an overall just bubbling pot of extremity that spans from doom metal, hardcore punk, crust through and through, arguably D-beat, anarcho-punk, and so on and so forth. Now, I'm going to start with a crazy big critique I had on this record, which I hope stops in the later records, or at least I think it's part of the soundscape the band creates. I think it is part of the what makes Dystopia Dystopia. So I don't think it's a bad thing per se, but it was a bit too much for me, and that's the samples. First half of this record was Ramo, and then we sort of reprised it back in the latter end of the record. Just Ramo Jamo full of samples. Too many samples. First half of the record, I mean, Stress Build's character was clean. From Hands That Mold, I believe, up until the middle. So 5 tracks back to back. It was just, there was more sample than actual lyrical content. I don't want to hear that. I'll switch the telly on in between programs and watch advertisements if I want to just hear crap. I didn't like that whatsoever. I don't mind a sample every once in a while, but I want to hear the music. I'm here to listen to Dystopia, not samples. So I hope that does stop in the latter albums. We will be checking it out because this is a unique and great band and means a lot to a lot of people, clearly. So I don't want to go out of my way slating the act, because evidently they did a great job reaching out and spreading a positive message. Now, where do we go from there? The first track, Stress Build's Character, that is a classic. It's a classic. That's one of the best punk emo, screamo, you know, tunes I've ever heard personally. There's a great amount of value with the lyrical content, a great application of the words that are being spoken that would apply to so many people out there, especially within the communities they're speaking to. You know, it is fantastic. You know what I mean? If I was a music marketer, I'd be rubbing my hands together once I heard that track. Absolutely beautiful. I'd say do another couple like that. Do another couple like that. I don't like money. Fantastic. I think that track in itself raises my ranking of this record, because if that track wasn't there, I think overall this record to me wouldn't be great. Definitely not a great record. And I'll tell you why I would say that. It's because me personally, having came up through playing the guitar, I'm more observant to the instrumentation, to the lyrical content. So I know this band has a great bold emphasis on the message that's being spread and the lyrical element. I don't pay attention to that. So the actual politicized message that's being spread via the band, which is, you know, really the essence from what I've taken in, I completely push that to one side. That doesn't bother me too much. That doesn't bother me too much. If I was to be able to hear the lyrical content a little better, then it would be the case. But I'm not going to go looking through the lyric book. I don't care. I ain't got the time. I've not got the time. So that's my opinion as far as that's concerned. Instrumentally great. Yeah, fantastic. This is a quality insight into how good bands in the crustier realm can be, because I just like the cleaner side of things. I'm into hardcore punk, so I've never been involved or engaged within that side of things. I mean, I've attended, plenty of DB events, power violence, grind, and so on and so forth. But as far as like crust for crust's sake, existing within this realm, I'm a little bit naive when it comes to it. So to be able to hear this is fantastic. I mean, I'm so naive to the point where I listen to this band and I don't know who could possibly have influenced this sound, because it's very alien to me. To me, with my musical palette, and I've heard a few bands at this point, I listen to this band and find it completely unique. Completely unique. And, in extreme metal, that's very hard to do. As for a rating, I'll give it leeway. I'm not going to return back to this record. I do like Stress Bill's character. I do think it's a great tune. I've heard that a couple of times prior to this listen through. But as a whole, I'm not going to return back to this record. I do like the band. I do like the branding, so to speak. I think they're a cool band, and respectfully, I'm gonna give it 5 out of 10. Remove the samples, might have been a 5.5 or 6 potentially, but I'll give it a 5. We will continue on through the discography, given people care about engaging over this band. But other than that, that's me signing out. Peace and love.